Hi, everybody. Welcome. We are so glad that you took time out today to enjoy our presentation. My name is Michelle Biggert, and I'm the Director of Business and Community Development for Berner Law Group. Here with me is my colleague, Tara, which some of you may know. Tara assists in our Medicaid department, working with both clients and the community on Medicaid applications. I'm going to take a moment to introduce Jennifer Benjamin. She is a geriatric care manager and the owner of Family First Home Companions, a professional caregiving service that she founded with her mom, Alice Benora, in 2005. Family First helps older adults to live independently at home by providing professional caregiving assistance with daily activities of living, such as meal preparation, light housekeeping, transportation, and companionship. Jennifer has been a local speaker at regional conferences and providing continuing education for programs for nurses and social workers at the Northwell Healthcare System and Catholic Health Services. She speaks often on topics including aging in place, family caregiving, geriatric depression, dementia, and much more. So with that, Jennifer, welcome. We're so glad to have you, and we'll let you take it away.
So much, Michelle and Tara, and thank you everybody for joining us today on this call. So my topic is integrating technology and geriatric care. Very relevant, especially for these times and this pandemic. We have certainly seen just how much technology has come into play in the healthcare industry. But just very quickly about me, you'll see me pictured here on the left. I own my company with my mom pictured on the right, Alice Benora. We've been in business since 2005, providing in-home care services to older adults. I am a geriatric care manager. So working with the geriatric population is very near and dear to my heart. I also run a support group for family members every month that are helping someone with dementia. So certainly in my field, we are seeing a lot of different technologies come into the marketplace. And I'm hoping today that I can really enlighten you on what's out there and what's available to make life a little bit easier and to make geriatric care a little bit easier. But I want to start my presentation with showing you this video of Robear, which is a robot that was developed in Asia that helps with lifting a person who may be disabled or wheelchair bound from a sitting position or from a bed. So I'm going to just show you a quick demonstration of how this robot works. And I think it's a really nice way to introduce you to all of these new technologies that are coming out now. There's no sound to this video. You're just going to watch the robot lift this person up. Okay, so I just wanted to give you that little demonstration. So just a quick thing, Robear is a nursing robot that can do these tasks like you just watched, with lifting a patient from a bed to a wheelchair, supporting a patient who is standing. And this is really important for many reasons, especially for the healthcare professionals that are doing this kind of lifting themselves. We often see that they suffer from back injuries, disc problems in their spine because of this ongoing lifting that's a part of their everyday work. So this robot alleviates that problem, and it can just be more efficient. It can really ensure that person's safety. The robot's not going to accidentally lose strength and drop that person. So very interesting new technology with using robots. So to get started, the objectives of this program are to discuss why we need technology in geriatric care, define assistive technology as it relates to elder care, explore the various types of assistive technology. I'm going to provide you with online resources, and we'll take a look at some innovative products and services in the marketplace. So we know that technology has replaced the humans in different fields. In the banking industry, picture on the left are ATM machines that we're all very well accustomed to now, but that ATM machine did replace a live person in a bank. And then the self-checkout at the grocery store. I'm a big user myself of the self-checkout. It's so easy to use and it really saves you time sometimes from waiting on a long line. And that has also replaced humans. And then we have pictured on the right, a kiosk in a McDonald's where you can just walk right up, press a button on these screens and order your own food rather than interacting with a cashier. So I think we've become even more accustomed to this self-service technology now with the pandemic because we're trying so hard to avoid contact with other people. But we know that outside of the pandemic, technology has really replaced humans in many different industries. And it's also going to start replacing humans in healthcare. So why we need technology in geriatric care? Well, we know that we can well imagine as people who have loved ones with who are older or as professionals in the geriatric field, there are many ways that and many reasons why we need technology. But one example would be how a Hoyer lift can be used to lift someone out of a bed or and into a chair or into a wheelchair. A Hoyer lift has made a tremendous difference in the home care field so that, again, an aide would not need to physically lift a person all the time and potentially get injured. But we also know that there are growing costs associated with long-term care, from costs going up in nursing homes, in home care services, in general, in healthcare. The costs are rising. So technology is going to become a solution to help lower some of those costs and offer an alternative. And then we know that the older adult population is growing from 48 million to 88 million in the next 30 years. Almost 70% of those over the age of 65 will need care at some point. And we're going to look at a growing shortage of home care workers. So as I mentioned, with the growing costs of long-term care, this diagram really shows you where it's going with spending 1 year in a nursing home. So a nursing home in 2018, as you can see on the left side of the diagram, was under $100,000 a year. But if you look all the way over to the right, in the year 2038, it's projected to be between $150,000 to $200,000 a year to pay for in a nursing home. So we know that the cost of long-term care is significantly going up every year. I'm going to show you a quick video now on aging in America and the long-term care crisis and what's happening with the cost of care.
This is my calm before the storm. It kind of centers me.
But Kathy Warren is still keeping watch out her window on her 92-year-old stepfather next door.
As long as I know he's sitting there doing something, I know he's fine. Hey, Dad.
Most of the rest of her day in a modest mobile home park in Hayward, California, will be spent on his care.
It's almost done, Dad.
Okay. Every day.
There you go.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I haven't been able to visit my son. I haven't been able to see my granddaughter. My life is really on hold.
She's been looking after him full-time since her mother died 4 years ago. Do you feel lucky that you have someone like Kathy in your life?
Absolutely, yes, indeed. Like I say, I wouldn't know what to do without her.
That looks better.
Good.
And Warren, 66, a breast cancer survivor who herself struggles to get by, has been unable to get any government help for her stepdad. Is it surprising to you that there's just no place where people know that they can turn when they get into this kind of situation?
It's surprising to me now, but back when I was working, this wasn't even on my radar. And all of a sudden I found out that there really are no resources out there for somebody who is in the situation that my dad is. He's kind of in the middle.
In the middle. Not poor enough to qualify for Medicaid, which unlike Medicare does cover many long-term care expenses, and not rich enough to pay for long-term care. So the burden falls on his stepdaughter.
I don't look at that as a sacrifice. I just look at it as that's just the way that life is right now. And much like when I went through cancer, it's just one day at a time. I think we need to zip this zipper.
And she is not alone. According to the Family Caregiver Alliance, some 45 million Americans are currently caring for an elderly family member.
I can't tell you the number of people that have told me they've given up everything. They've sold cars, they've sold property, they've sold furniture, they've sold things that they otherwise would have kept just to pay for their parents' care.
Former Democratic Senate Majority Leader Tom Daschle says the problem of long-term care is becoming a national crisis as more of us are living longer with limited resources.
Care is highly fragmented, and as a result, available services and support are not coordinated.
He and a bipartisan group of former public officials have created a task force to try to draw attention to the issue. Is there an estimate of how many people aged, say, 65 and older will at some point in their lives need long-term care?
The amazing statistic, and it's still one that it's hard for me to get my arms around, is that 70% of people over the age of 65 will need care of some kind, whether in their home or in institutions, before the end of their life. 70%.
That's tens of millions of people. And while there are insurance policies that cover long-term care expenses, they are out of financial reach for many.
Unfortunately, only 7% of people who are in need of long-term care are able to rely on the private insurance options today. I mean, these are really big issues for most families, and you tend to put them off until you really have to address them.
Nobody wants to talk about it. It's awful.
The title of cartoonist Roz Chast's illustrated memoir says it all. Just named a finalist for the National Book Award, it's the story of the decline of her late parents. Her dad, a Brooklyn public school teacher, her mom, a vice principal. You found yourself more and more playing the role of helper, and you were very frank in saying you really didn't want to.
Well, I didn't want to, and they didn't want me to. So it was kind of like nobody wanted any of this to be happening, but it does.
Her parents, like many older Americans, resisted leaving home for assisted living, the place as they called it. When in their 90s, they finally made the move, worrying about expenses took a huge toll on the whole family.
Make sure to scrimp and save every penny of your precious earnings. And when your scrimpings run out, 1, go into your children's scrimpings, and or 2, play and win the lottery, and or 3, apply for a Guggenheim, and or 4, start smoking, and or 5, take hemlock.
There are other options. In Boston, a group of seniors has banded together.
I have the support to, within reason, live the kind of life I want to.
It's called the Village Movement. It began in 2001 when Susan McWhinney Morse and some like-minded friends, determined not to go into facilities for the aging, founded Beacon Hill Village.
We are going to somehow or other create a way to stay in our own homes that's responsible that is safe, that will not be dependent upon our children, but allow us to live our lives the way we want to, and yet access help when we needed it.
Today, Beacon Hill Village has 340 members who pay dues of around $1,000 per couple a year. Charitable contributions from the community provide reduced rates for the less affluent. To keep members engaged and active, the village sponsors community outings like field trips and restaurant dinners.
There are so many activities.
Dorothy Leaf is 90. What do you like about living all by yourself?
Well, I can do what I want to do when I want to do it. I eat what I want to eat when I want to eat it. And there are enough people around that I don't really get lonely.
Membership also provides a number of paid trips to the doctor and the grocery store.
Pomegranate, if you can find
Do you want me to look for that?
Yeah,
Okay.
would you? Thank you.
A small staff, along with many volunteers, assists with any number of large and small problems.
You can call and say, I'm losing my hearing. I really don't know quite what I should do. There's a group of people that will advise you.
60 seconds, as many reps as you can do.
83-year-old Roger Cox says the village not only gives him a regular exercise group, but also peace of mind.
As the male, and feeling like statistically I would go before my wife, if something happens, she can pick up the phone and call with any kind of a question and get direction or support.
The folks at Beacon Hill Village realized the nationwide need for such services when the New York Times ran a story about them.
In 2 weeks, we had 1,000 phone calls from all over the country saying, is there a village here? How do we start a village? How did you do it? What are you doing it? Will you help us?
There are now 140 villages across the country and over 100 more in development. And Tom Daschle believes that such grassroots solutions will be the answer, because federal officials just don't want to deal with the crisis in long-term care.
Right now, the political polarized environment we face precludes any serious attempt to address it.
Meanwhile, for caregivers like Kathy Warren, there is no relief in sight. What would happen to him if you weren't around to care for him?
There's no plan. Look at the little bird over here. And I shudder to think what would happen to him. Well, hopefully I'll never find that out.
Okay, so I like that video because it really shows what the family caregivers go through with providing care themselves. If they can't afford to hire home care service or to put their loved one into a facility, and just, the toll that it could take. And then some of the creative ways some older adults are coming up with to address their own needs, and like that village example, pull together to really help each other out. So very interesting news story there. But to move on to under this topic of why we need technology, I mentioned a skyrocketing need for home care workers. This diagram shows you that by 2026, the growth in jobs for home health aides will be up 47%, whereas in all other occupation categories, the average is a growth of 7%. So this really, shows us just how much the need is there. And then this diagram shows you the shortages in home health aides in each state. And by 2025, just a short 4 years away, the darker the blue in the state, the greater the shortage. So as you can see in New York here, it's dark, very dark blue, because it's projecting about an 83,000 shortage in home health aides, as opposed to the states that are more gray or light blue that may actually have more of a surplus of home health aides. So that's another big factor in needing technology. And we're just so accustomed to centuries of routine elder care. We know we rely on humans a lot for the care of older adults, from family members to providers, home health providers, physical therapists, friends, neighbors. They all come into play to help an older adult who is struggling with their daily activities. So we have current and future care technology. Current technologies revolve around fall prevention, medication management, assistive devices as simple as a hearing aid or a wheelchair or a cane. These are all technologies that are here and now, have been here for a while, that are addressing the needs. But then we have future care technology that's going to look at more things like remote monitoring, artificial intelligence, robotics, as I showed you in the first video, telemedicine, which we know from this pandemic is very much a useful service and very much here to stay, and smart home automation, another way to address the needs of older adults. So this diagram shows you that the technology needs of older adults evolve over time. And when someone is independent, they may need technology more around home safety, things like an alarm system, because they're not really concerned about anything else at that point. And then as their needs grow, they have more of a need for personal status technology like Skype, so that they can have video calls with people that are outside of their home. And then as they become more dependent and their needs grow, personal safety technology is there to address some of those needs, like smart home automation or a personal emergency response system. And then as they become more frail, personal health technology becomes important, like medication reminders or smart dispensers, which we're going to look at later on in this presentation. And then towards the end of life, as the person does become frailer, telehealth medicine becomes more important, and end of life care coordination technology. So the technology needs do grow as the person ages. So different types of technology now. I'm going to take you through some different types of technology that are out there, and we're going to start with fall prevention and remote monitoring. So the first product that I want to show you is called SafeWander. This is a product meant for people with dementia or Alzheimer's that have an issue with wandering. It provides instant and audible alerts on your smartphone or a caregiver's tablet when the person gets out of bed. This was actually a technology developed by a 14-year-old boy, believe it or not, in California, whose grandfather had Alzheimer's and would wake up at night to leave the home while everyone was sleeping. And this little boy's mom was struggling with getting sleep because she was constantly up at night. So he developed a product that would alert her when his grandfather did get up. And I'm going to show you a demonstration of how this works.
Are you worried about your loved one who may wander or fall in the middle of the night, as I was with my mom? If you are, then you should look into the SafeWander bed alarm sensor. Simply twist the small sensor on Mom's sleepwear and turn on the alert button on the app. Now I can sleep with peace of mind because my phone can wake me up when Mom tries to get out of bed. SafeWander alerts me only when Mom sits upright. Turning over in bed doesn't trigger the alert. SafeWander can also alert me when Mom leaves her chair. Using the gateway, I can monitor her from anywhere, even when I'm outside. My sister and brother can also check up on Mom, no matter where they are. Now, I can finally take Mom traveling. When we stay in the same room, the gateway is not needed. And the bed exit history is really insightful. SafeWander allows you to monitor Mom and Dad or any number of people at the same time. Safe Wander is easy to use. It's waterproof and doesn't require recharging. The battery lasts for months, and it's easy to know when I need to replace it. Safe Wander, a smarter and better bed alarm.
Okay, so nice technology to help address those wandering issues, and if you have someone that just in general you're concerned about getting up out of bed on their own. But now our next product is very similar to what you just saw, but this product is only used in the household. It cannot work outside of the household to alert a family member when a person gets up. So this is called Smart Caregiver Motion Sensor. It does not require an internet connection. It has just two parts to it as pictured here. One plugs into the wall in the bedroom next to where the person sleeps, while the pager part stays with the family member that, again, is in the same household, but maybe sleeping in another bedroom. So when that person does get up and they move past the sensor, it will send an alert to the pager. So very simple product. It goes for about $26. I actually bought this product for my toddler son, who likes to get up at night sometimes and come out of his bed. So we've been using it for that purpose, but you can see it can definitely be very versatile. And I just want to pause for a moment. I should have mentioned this earlier. If you do have any questions during this presentation, please put them into the chat box, and then at the very end, we're going to answer those questions for you. Okay. So the next product is called Personal. It's actually called Great Call, and it is a personal medical alert system. Great Call is a device that's worn on the person. It could be clipped to the pants or a belt, and it provides fall detection. So if the person falls, they don't have to press a button. It will automatically detect that the person fell and call for help. It sends alerts to family members, and it has this really interesting feature called urgent care, where you can call their call center, which is staffed by nurses and doctors, to ask medical questions. And it can be an emergency or a non-urgent question. So it's a very interesting product. It goes for about $50 per month. It has this 24/7 urgent care support. And anywhere in the world, wherever that person is who's wearing this Great Call device, it will alert family members when they are in trouble. So whether they fall or they're having any kind of a medical crisis, they could press this button and let family members know and get help right away. The next product is called Project Lifesaver. This works very similarly to the first video I showed you with Safe Wander. This is a bracelet that's worn for a person who has a cognitive impairment, so that if they do wander out of their home and they get lost, it has a GPS locator built into it so that they can be located. Now, this Project Lifesaver is actually offered through the local sheriff's department, and it involves the police in searching for the person if they do get lost. So rather than family members going out to locate the person with the GPS system in it, it actually the police will automatically go out and locate that person. So that's the nice added benefit, that you do have the backup and the help of the police force. It goes for about $300. You can call the local police department. I included the Nassau County Police Department and Suffolk County in this slide. And yeah, again, just a really helpful type of device for safety and for helping if you do have a loved one with wandering issues from a dementia. Okay, so the next type of technology that we're going to look at are cameras. We're all very familiar with security cameras and the way that they work, but I do feature this first system called RealLink. They offer wireless cameras that do get connected by an internet connection and are used for home security, as well as offering two-way audio. So if you are a family member that has a loved one that lives in their own home that you need to monitor and communicate with, you can do that all with this camera system. I also liked this camera system because they were offering free camera systems to older adults throughout this pandemic that were isolated and alone and were depending on people remotely to help them. So I'm not sure if that's still the case, but certainly something to take a look at. If you go to reallink.com, you'll be able to learn more about what they're offering as far as a free camera system. But they do have a lot of nice options, and they're very well known for having very crisp, very clear imaging with their cameras. And then the next system that offers cameras is alarm.com. Now this system combines sensors and cameras, and it's very interesting because this program actually learns the behaviors and the patterns of the person at home. It gets to know how many times on average the person exits their bedroom every day, how many times they go in and out of the bathroom, how many times they open up the refrigerator. And it creates this baseline for these different patterns of behavior in the household so that it will know when there's something that is abnormal going on with those patterns. So if a person does not come out of their bedroom like they normally would each day, the system is going to know that, and it will send an alert to a family member to let that person know. So I think it's a really excellent system for remote monitoring and just keeping an eye on things so that you don't have to sit and watch cameras for hours and hours every day. The system is just going to let you know when something looks unusual. And I'm going to show you a quick demo of this one.
Do you worry about a loved one who lives alone? Our wellness solution helps keep your loved ones safe without compromising their independence. Our smart technology detects emerging issues so you can act fast. We use data to understand your loved one's typical behavior and alert you if their activity patterns change. More than an emergency button, we can detect a fall, a door left ajar, or a medication box that hasn't been opened. 24-hour monitoring ensures that first responders are immediately alerted of intrusion, fire, or medical emergencies, while simultaneously sending you a notification. And with lights controlled through voice control, plus a smart thermostat to keep things comfortable, you and your loved one will have one less thing to worry about. Protect your loved one's independence and your peace of mind with wellness, the smarter solution for senior living.
Okay, so that would be the website that you would be visiting, alarm.com, if you're interested in this system. And again, it's their wellness program. Okay, so now we're going into medication management and assistive devices. I'm going to show you two medication management devices that are very innovative. This first one is the Medminder pill dispenser that offers compartments to keep the pills in, just like a regular pill box would, but the compartments actually blink a light for when it's time to take the medicine. It also allows you to fill the pills for several weeks, and it will lock those pills in each compartment so that the person does not overdose or take too many days of medication. It has a two-way voice channel with medical alert professionals. It can receive text messages and phone calls. And then it has this screen, as you can see pictured here, that can display pictures, weather updates. So it really draws the person in to the device to, again, keep them engaged and making sure that they are going to take those medications when it's time. It does require an internet connection or a cellular connection, and it also does allow for family members to be alerted when that person misses a medication. Then we have the Hero, which, oh, by the way, the previous, this Medminder pill dispenser goes for about $50 per month. Hero is about $30 per month, works very similarly to the Medminder, but this one can hold up to 10 different kinds of medication and can dispense them multiple times per day. It also comes with an app that can be programmed onto a smartphone for family members to monitor and make sure that they can see their loved one is taking their medicine. And it will sort and dispense a month's supply of medicine. So another nice feature like the Medminder is that you can fill this for several weeks. Okay, so and that was the Hero pill dispenser. Now we're going to go into assistive technology. So there are various types of assistive technology, from low tech like canes and magnifiers and pill organizers, to high tech like complete computer applications and programs, sensors, smartphone and tablet applications, and fully automated systems. So the most popular types of assistive technology are pictured here, and some of these you may recognize. Certainly the chair lift featured on the left, the armchair that helps a person to rise to a standing position. You have a magnifier for reading books, portable grab bar that could be placed anywhere around the home. At the top are TV ears. Those are earplugs to help a person hear the television. We have a grip, a gripper to help with zippering the flies, or helping with unbuttoning buttons and shirts. And then we have a talking clock that could tell us the time rather than having to see the time. So those are very common assistive technologies, popular technologies that I featured there. But I also wanted to show you these activator poles. These are not as common, but still very useful. They are poles that you use almost similar to skiing, and they allow for dual side balance and mobility. Each pole can hold up to 200 pounds of weight. It's very ideal for people who have chronic conditions like multiple sclerosis, Parkinson's disease, or even maybe a person who has survived a stroke and may have weakness on one side or paralysis on one side. So these activator poles really help with mobility and help keep the person mobile and exercising and active. So definitely something to keep in mind. Seat lifts. This is a portable seat lift. So rather than buying an entire armchair to help that person getting up from a sitting position, this portable seat lift can be taken anywhere that they go. So another just helpful type of technology. Now I'm going to show you the spoon stabilizer. This is something that helps, again, with everyday activities like eating. This can be either a spoon or a fork. And for someone who may have issues with holding their hands steady while eating.
Simple tasks like brushing our teeth, taking a shower, and eating are part of our everyday routine. But uncontrolled hand or arm twists, bends, or movements that may be related to conditions such as cerebral palsy, spinal cord injury, Huntington's disease, Parkinson's disease, or post-stroke deficits can make these activities frustrating and stressful experiences.
What about this one?
Working with patient advocates and their families, the Liftware team developed a new technology to make the various tasks of daily living second nature again.
Baby.
We started with empowering our users to once again feed themselves with ease. The Liftware Level is an electronic handle that recognizes what position your hand is in at all times and works to counteract any unwanted movements so that you can relax and enjoy the company of those around you instead of worrying about the task at hand. The Liftware Level starter kit includes the leveling handle with a hand strap, a soup spoon attachment, and a charging cord. Charging the Level is easy. Simply plug the charging cord into a USB outlet, remove the attachment on the handle, and connect the handle to the cord. When you eat with the Liftware Level, you can focus on the best parts of dining. We can't wait to bring Liftware Level to you or your loved ones.
Okay, so that was Liftware. Now the next technology here is electronic glasses, and this is offered by a company called C-Boost. It's a special pair of prescription glasses that help with age-related vision loss, such as macular degeneration. So these go for about $3,500, not inexpensive. They do offer financing options, but it does help that person to get some vision back in that eye that may be affected by a disease like macular degeneration. So moving on, just want to make sure I have enough time. I'm going to show you a quick demonstration of hearing aid technology called Resound One. This is a more advanced technology for hearing aids. It blocks out background sound, and you're going to see the video to really see the difference in these hearing aids.
There are many groundbreaking benefits of using a hearing aid with a microphone and receiver in ear, such as improved localization, speech recognition, and overall improved sound quality. Another benefit of using Marie is understanding speech in a windy situation. Today, we will listen to two different sets of hearing aids, Resound One and another brand. First, let's listen to another brand, which has microphones responsible for capturing sounds of the environment located behind the user's ear. Thanks for joining me outside, though I hope it's not too windy. There really is nothing like getting some fresh air. Now, I've replaced another brand's hearing aids with Resound One. Resound One uses 3 microphones, including one placed inside the ear canal. Let's listen to the same scene. Thanks for joining me outside, though I hope it's not too windy. There really is nothing like enjoying some fresh air. As you can hear, the microphone and receiver of Resound One enables better speech understanding in a windy situation. So whether you're out for a run or just enjoying a summer day, you can hear comfortably.
So I know I'm throwing a lot of different technologies at you right now in this presentation, but I just want to give you a nice scope of what's available and what's out there in the marketplace and how technology has really advanced in some of the areas that of devices that we're already very familiar with, like hearing aids. And then some newer things that are coming out that we really haven't seen yet and haven't really utilized yet, like robotics. But definitely keep that last slide in mind, Resound One. If you have a loved one who complains about their hearing aids, that they're really not working or that they're not comfortable, that could be another option to look at that organization. So now we're going to move into smart home automation. This becomes really important if you have a loved one at home that you need to monitor and watch over remotely. As we've been talking about here with cameras and sensors, this kind of pulls it all together. When you create a smart home system, it utilizes these different technologies to really monitor everything that's going on, even movement, temperature, lighting, activity patterns, activity anomalies. So that's really what you're getting in a smart home automation system. I'm going to pass this video because I want to make sure we have enough time for this topic, but basically, smart home technology requires 3 things: high-speed internet access, a home security system, and social engagement technology. So we're going to take a little closer look at that. The first thing, as I mentioned, is high-speed internet access. You need to have that in order to create a smart home automation system. So mesh Wi-Fi featured here is a system that uses multiple routers working together. Most of us have one router in our home that allows us to connect to the internet and gives us that signal throughout our home. But sometimes a single router may not allow you to have a great internet connection in every corner of your home. I know that I have that situation in my own house where certain parts of the house have a weaker connection. So mesh Wi-Fi is a way to have multiple routers working together to really give you that stronger internet connection. Then Abode Smart Security System. This is a little more advanced than a typical security system. It will detect more than just intruders. It could even detect fire and flooding in a home. It can be installed to monitor doors, windows, motion, and will trigger an alarm that can notify authorities or caregivers if there's a problem. This type of system also works with smoke alarms, flood sensors, and freeze temperature sensors. So if a senior shares access to the Abode system with a caregiver, that person can check through their own smartphone app and know that the temperature is comfortable, or all the doors and windows are secure, and they'll be alerted if a smoke or carbon dioxide or carbon monoxide alarm is triggered. The Wallabot home is designed to be placed on a bathroom wall and scans constantly for movement. And if it detects a fall, it immediately calls your trusted contact. So this is basically a fall detection device. And the bathroom is one of the highest risk areas of the home for having a fall. In fact, most people do fall in their bathroom or in their shower. So this takes out the need to have to get up and call 911 or have to press a button. This will just be placed on the wall and will automatically call for help if it does detect that fall. The June oven is a very interesting device. It's a toaster oven, convection oven, air fryer, and slow cooker all in one. Its smarts include a built-in camera so you can check on your food without getting off the couch, alerts to your phone when your food is almost ready, and simple touchscreen controls. So if you do have a loved one that may have a cognitive impairment or just short-term memory loss, the June oven can be a great way to still be able to cook food at home without having to use a traditional stove or oven. And this even features the ability to automatically shut off if the food is becoming overcooked or if it's starting to detect smoke from the food. So it's kind of considered like a smart oven. So the next feature technology that I have under, again, this category of smart homes is called med cottages. These are also known as, another term is granny pods, which I don't think is the best terminology for what this offers. Med cottage is really more accurate and more dignified, but this is a home that can be placed in your backyard, almost like a mobile home. It's about 400 to 500 square feet in size, and it comes equipped with soft flooring to help if a person has a problem with slipping and falling. The floors are actually intentionally made a little softer. It has a camera system, it has sensors, it has equipment, grab bars, walk-in shower. So it's a nice alternative to building an apartment onto your home to have your loved one live with you. I know many families that do that. And while that's still something that works for many people, this could be just another way to have the same effect with having your loved one living with you, but not in your home. They can literally have their own home placed right in your backyard. So you would look for med cottages. I believe actually you probably would want to just Google the term med cottages to get more information about that. And if you have any trouble, if you need a website for that, feel free to reach out to me. Okay, this is a product called the Fire Avert. It's an automatic stove shut-off device. And what it does is you plug this into the wall where your stove is normally plugged into, and then your stove would plug into this device. And it will detect if the smoke alarm goes off and will automatically shut off the stove. So a very interesting technology, very simple device to use. It does not require any kind of internet connection or any special hookup. You literally just unplug your stove, plug this device into the wall, and then plug your stove into it. So it goes for about, you could buy it right on Amazon for about $150. Then there's the Wallflower Smart Plug, another device to help with fire safety. It will plug into the stove and will alert you if your stove is left on. So if ever you've left home, I know I've done that many times and wondered if I left the stove on. Well, this will actually alert your phone if you did in fact leave it on. Okay, so just briefly to talk about case studies on smart home technology for older adults. There have been a few case studies, not many, but a few have been done on whether all of this technology is really useful for older adults as far as smart home technology goes. And they have found that while it's very beneficial, sometimes financially it's not as accessible and affordable for older adults. The adaptation is still challenging, for an older adult to adapt to sensors and cameras in their home and smart ovens and things like that, not always very easy. And the psychological benefits are still unknown. Does this really replace the human element of having a person there to assist with these different things? Excuse me. So that's where some of the case studies on this. My last topic here is artificial intelligence and robotics. Artificial intelligence is defined as intelligence demonstrated by machines, unlike the natural intelligence displayed by humans and animals. Alexa is the most popular artificial intelligence that many of us are aware of and already using. Alexa allows us to speak to a device and get answers back. And it will give us things like weather updates, news updates, anything. It will search the internet for you. It will set reminders for you. It does all kinds of different things to help you stay more efficient, to have information when you need it, and to really keep you connected to the outside world. Amazon, many of you may have heard about this in the news recently. They have launched a healthcare side to Alexa, which will allow you to book medical appointments, reference your blood sugar readings, access post-discharge instructions from a hospital. It really is connecting the healthcare world right to the person's home through the system. So Alexa, a very interesting technology that we're going to see it more and more used in healthcare. And certainly for an older adult living alone at home, Alexa offers a lot of benefits. I have a little Alexa humor here, but I'm going to bypass that to save some time. But if ever you want to check it out, Saturday Night Live has a very funny skit on Alexa and older adults. But robotics and elder care, there are numerous ways that medical robotics can help the elderly. Robots can perform small tasks like fetching food and water. Elder care robots can even offer some social and emotional support. They offer entertainment through games. They can book events and appointments or remind the person about events and appointments and provide social engagement. Other elder care robots take a more direct muscular approach, as I showed you in that first video, with the robot physically lifting the person from a sitting position. And they use powerful hydraulics to help provide mobility and transport seniors. So robotics are definitely another technology that we're going to start to see more and more in our world. So I'm going to just show you a quick video to end my presentation today on the future of elder care and what our world is going to start looking like in the not too distant future.
Come on, Cookie. I don't know how you're supposed to feel at 86, but I don't think I feel like I'm 86.
Surprise!
People make my world go round. I fear isolation, and being cut off. If I am alone somewhere and I had no one to talk to, no one to share anything with, I bet you I would just dry up and blow away. I call this my smart house. We got sensors in all the rooms. I swallow them. I wear them. Doc knows what's going on with me. I don't have to go to the clinic anymore. I call him up. He's not back in the horse and buggy days.
Looks like you had a pretty active week, huh?
I'm feeling it too. Hey guys, how do you like your ride? Knowing I got eyes on me gives me the confidence to keep me being who I am, doing what I want to do. Frees me up. Takes the worry away. I don't have to worry about Paige, my daughter. Hey kiddo, what's up?
I'm just checking in.
Because I know she's not worried about me.
No,
She's always busy, work and kids, but she can see exactly how I'm doing.
I love you, Dad.
That she knows how I feel before I do. Cookie has become my buddy.
Time for your pill, Jim.
My wingman. Hey, Cookie, what time is that car going to be here?
2 minutes. It's cold out. Might want to bring a coat.
It's like he has a brain. Now, what are you doing, Cookie?
It's a quick...
I have come to rely on him. I know I can trust him, and he's got my back. I lost Ellen, my wife, 10 years ago. So many good times, so many memories. Losing her was really tough. If we had had for her then what we have for me now, she would have been in a much better place. I miss her so much. Here, not too long ago, I was experiencing those dizzy spells. The doctor had provided a scan for me at home, so I didn't have to go out to the clinic or anything.
They have those scans for that patient. Take a look.
And that scan revealed that I had an aneurysm. I saw this specialist, a surgeon, and she explained to me, we wouldn't have a messy operation. They inject these nanobots and they go into your system.
Basically, we're going to send in an army of nanobots at the aneurysm.
And they find where the aneurysm is and
fixing it.
They seal it off. I get a kick out of thinking that I have a whole bunch of nanobots swimming around up here in my brain, doing what they're supposed to do. I wasn't in a hospital. I went back home.
Oh dear.
I went back home where I want to be, where I belong. The help that I have allows me to stay here in my home. Who is that? Do you remember? That guy in the back.
Who is that?
Have my friends here.
That's Pete.
My family. And I don't want to give that up. I don't want to be in a nursing home. The quickest way to lose your independence is to go where you don't have any independence. That's the truth.
Okay, everybody. So I hope that video also enlightened you on what our world is going to look like one day. And I like that video just because it does still combine, the human element with the technology element, and the fact that he is still in his home, out in nature, doing his thing, his fishing and so forth, his friends, but it's not overkill on the technology and the coldness sometimes that technology can offer as well. So with that said, I will be happy to take any questions that you may have at this time. And I will also just show you one last thing with my information as well, if you are interested at all in inquiring about our services.
Jennifer, it's Michelle. Thank you so much for such a great presentation.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I hope everybody enjoyed it.
I'm going to read off the questions if that's okay for you.
Certainly.
Okay, great. So our first question, are these robots covered under insurance policies?
That's a good question. I am actually not sure of the answer yet, but I could get back to you. In my research, the robots weren't yet being offered by any particular healthcare company yet. I know they were being tested at that stage, but not yet offered. But I will certainly get back to you. In fact, what I could do is email you, Michelle, any answers to questions that I don't have right now. And if you want to shoot that out later.
Sure. So what we'll be doing is that we'll send out an email to all registrants with both the recording of today's webinar, our contact information for both Jennifer and Berner Law Group, as well as answers to the questions. So that's great.
Okay, great.
So number 2, do you know if Safe Wander integrates with visual cameras?
If it integrates with visual cameras, that I didn't see. So I would have to guess no, that it didn't integrate, but again, I will make sure, I'll double check that, and I'll definitely get back to you on that.
Okay, great. The third question, can you recommend a coded lock that can be opened with a smartphone and give a specific code to healthcare professionals, police, etc., by putting in the code?
Oh, yeah, that's a really good idea. So you're asking about like a lock that could be, that could have its own code, so that anyone, that a provider coming into the home or an emergency responder could just let themselves in with that code. I'll be honest, I haven't come across that in my own research, but again, I will certainly take a look to see if anything like that is available. I have heard of people using a traditional lock with a code, almost like what the realtors use for certain individuals to let themselves in. I've even had that with clients in my home care service that don't want to give a key, but just want to keep it there in a lock. But I haven't come across something that integrates with like a smartphone. So I'll definitely find out and get back to you.
Sure, and Amazon I know has some keyless door lock options as well. Okay, great. So our second question, is there any hearing aid technology that resolves the issue of hearing a person through a mask? I think that's definitely trouble for all of us.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Such an issue right now. I know that one company that I featured in the presentation, Resound One, they do have in their device, they block out certain sounds, as he showed in that demonstration, like with the wind. It has the capacity to block certain things. But if someone's trying to speak through a mask, I'm not sure how they would, I know they also have a microphone that can amplify certain sounds in the hearing aid itself. So I would definitely look into Resound One for that, because they just seem to have a little more versatility in amplifying certain sounds and minimizing other sounds.
Sure. And the other option might be is just simply purchasing a clear mask, so you're still able to read lips. I know that's worked for some of our clients.
Yes, great suggestion.
Yeah, that's been something. Okay, it looks like I have time for one more question. Where can the spoon stabilizer be purchased, and do we have any idea of the cost?
Okay, with the spoon stabilizer, you want to go to a website called Liftware. So it's the word Liftware, WARE.com. And let me just see, I don't think I caught the price on that one. I don't think their website talked about the pricing, but that is definitely the website to go to get more information about it.
Thanks again, and thank you for everyone for joining us. Have a good day.
Thank you. You too. Take care, everybody.
Thanks, Jennifer.